Alright, so here's something that's been weighing on my mind lately, and I feel like we need to talk about it. Glen Hansard, yes, that Glen Hansard is reportedly gone. Now, before we dive into the details, let me just say this. Personally, I think this is one of those moments where the music world feels a little quieter, you know? Like, when someone who's shaped so many soundtracks of our lives suddenly isn't there anymore, it's not just a loss, it's a shift in the air. So, let's break this down. First off, the news broke that Glen was involved in a motorcycle crash in Dublin. And yeah, it's tragic. But what makes this really interesting is the way his story intersects with so many layers of creativity and resilience. I mean, here's a guy who went from busking on the streets of Dublin to winning an Oscar. Think about that for a second. From the streets to the Academy Awards, that's not just a career arc, that's a testament to raw talent and grit. And honestly, that's what I'll always remember him for, the ability to turn struggle into art. Now, let's talk about his roots. Glen grew up in Ballymun, a place that's not exactly known for its glamour. But here's the thing, he didn't let his surroundings define him. Instead, he let music redefine his path. Discovering Bob Dylan at 12? That's a detail I find fascinating. It's like he found his North Star early on, and everything else just followed. Teaching himself guitar, dropping out of school to busk, these weren't just rebellious acts, they were acts of self-discovery. And in my opinion, that's what makes his music so authentic. It's not polished, it's lived in. Then there's the Frames. Honestly, if you've never listened to them, stop what you're doing and go check out Fitzcarraldo. What many people don't realize is that the Frames were never just a band, they were a movement in Irish rock. They built a following not through flashy marketing, but through raw, emotional storytelling. And Glen was the heart of that. His voice, raspy, vulnerable, and unapologetically real, became the voice of a generation. If you take a step back and think about it, that's a legacy most artists can only dream of. But here's where it gets even more intriguing, his acting career. The commitments? Iconic. But what's really interesting is how he felt about it. He didn't want his acting success to overshadow his music. And that, to me, speaks volumes about his priorities. He wasn't in it for the fame, he was in it for the art. Fast forward to Once, and you see that same dedication. That film wasn't just a movie, it was a love letter to the struggle of every artist out there. Falling Slowly, winning an Oscar? Deserved. But more than that, it felt like a win for every street performer who's ever poured their soul into a song. Now, let's talk about his solo work. Albums like Rhythm and Repose and Didn't He Ramble, these aren't just collections of songs, they're chapters in his life. And his latest release, Don't Settle? It's like he knew we needed a reminder of his journey. Reinterpreting his own songs? That's not just a retrospective, that's an artist looking back and saying, this is who I am. And honestly, that's what this loss feels like. Reminder to appreciate the artists who give us so much of themselves. So, here's my closing thought. Glen Hansard's story isn't just about music or movies, it's about the power of authenticity. He didn't fit into any mold, and that's what made him extraordinary. Personally, I think the world needs more artists like him, people who aren't afraid to be raw, to be vulnerable, to be real. His passing is a loss, no doubt, but his legacy? That's something we can all carry forward. So, here's to Glen Hansard, a true artist, a storyteller, and a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful things come from the most unexpected places. What do you think? How has his work impacted you? Let me know in the comments.